There's no HDMI. Oh, shit. Oh, there. Got it. Oh, come on. I got it on here. There. Now I gotta get this unlocked.
Didn't even bring a pen. Hey, look who's here. I wake you up this morning?
No, I didn't even see that until after I was up sitting on the chair.
Well, good for you. Well, you know,
Well, I hope that nobody shows up.
I don't think very many will here, but you might want to get some extra chairs for tonight.
Why?
I think you're going to have a crowd tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, everybody's upset about their water and their electric.
What's the matter with the electric?
It's been going out every other day.
Well, it has, but it hasn't been you guys, has it?
That was yesterday, or
Huh?
I think some people lost power yesterday. That was our deal. It's either yesterday or Saturday. We had one out of 2 or 3. Yesterday, because Stookie called me at home yesterday.
Really? Whoops.
I didn't answer him. I don't do business on Sundays. I guess he talked to Earl, though. He thought he was out of power. Earl assured him he was not out of power.
Where was he? Where do you think he was out of power?
Oh, somebody told him part of the town was out of power for a little while. Somebody told him he was out again, so he was all nervous. Earl had to convince him that he was not out of power, that there were people out of power, but not him.
Well, what was he doing up there anyway?
He wasn't up there. Somebody called him and told him the town was out of power again.
Oh. So he was worried about his freezers.
I reckon. I don't know. I got a problem here. It's not really a problem. I got bills in here from IMPA for $28,000 and $5,600, and there's a couple of other things in here that I think have to do with this upgrade out here. Oh, by the way, we're on TV if anybody's watching.
I saw that. Did you figure out how to work that thing?
I finally got it on. I'm not sure what I did, but I finally got it to work. So my question, this 28,000 and 5,600, and like I said, there's another 1 or 2 back here. I don't have a problem with the bill, but that's part of that upgrade. And she's just paying that right out of the general electric fund. It seems like we should be keeping track of this on a separate line, because at the end of the day, this should be for $200,000. And we won't know whether it was 200,000 or 400,000, because we're just taking it out of the general fund and not keeping, well, maybe she's keeping track somehow, but we should be keeping track of what we're spending on this somehow.
Well, what are we doing about separating? Needs to be separated from the daily things that I get, that IPA has come to town to fix something that somebody's called in about. You know, like it might be a pole, or they got lines down, or whatever the hell it is. But I get them when they go into the office. I get them in my computer. That IMPA's got.
They shouldn't be charging us for that. That's what we're paying them for.
Well, you said you had 2 different bills on there.
These bills are for the upgrade they're doing. It's an extra thing.
Both of them are?
Yeah. I mean, I've got other bills from them, but it's just the typical stuff we're supposed to get billed for. But this is part of that upgrade, and we should be keeping track of what we're spending on that upgrade somewhere. I mean, I don't care if she takes it out of the general fund. That's where it's gonna come from anyway, but we should know how much we've spent on that upgrade. So
Yeah.
that when we get to 200,000, we can say, that's it. Know what I mean? We're not even gonna know what we spent on that upgrade unless maybe she is keeping it separate somewhere. I don't know. It's a question I need to ask her, I guess, but
Well, it'd be better if there was a separate line item,
yeah.
but knowing her, it's too busy for her to.
Be careful. You're on TV. Now, it does say she's got outside service employed, and it does say State Road 75 system upgrade and Westfall Place engineering. So the engineering part is probably not IMPA. Well, it says it is. Okay. So she may have it separated out where she knows what it is. I have to talk to her about that. I don't know.
Well, is there anything in there that shows how much money is left out of that 200,000?
No, that's what I'm saying. See, we don't have any money set aside. She's just paying it out of the general fund. We don't have to worry about this guy. He's not here about the electric.
Are you sure?
And besides that, if he gives us any crap, I'll burn his house down.
I think we should lynch all of the people on the utility board.
We can do that.
Nothing that's gone on with the utilities has anything to do with the utility board, actually. It's been just
He's coming to your meeting tonight too, so get ready. At least you'll know what he's gonna talk about now, so you won't have to worry about whether he's gonna shoot you or not. We're on TV, by the way, so
oh no.
be careful what you, don't pick your nose or
Pick my
anything.
nose or scratch my back.
I think it's supposed to tell if,
You know, I only have X amount of steps a day.
right,
So I have a few more houses to get to before the list is actually totally complete.
yeah.
Does you have a copy machine? So do you all want a copy of what I have? I've got 3 pages of signatures of actual homeowners.
We'll ask Earl. I don't really.
Or I can wait until it's completed.
What do you do with that when you're done? Who do you give it to?
Center Point.
Okay. Yeah, I don't care. I don't think I care to have a copy. He's not here about any of our problems.
No, it's a problem for Westwood and Salem's Landing as we have no natural gas.
Oh.
He's trying to get natural gas put in
Uh-huh.
to Westwood, basically.
Okay.
Well, there's enough of you old farts out there. You ought to have a lot of natural gas.
He's got a, what do you call it?
Petition.
He's sending to Center Point.
Yeah.
Do you want a copy for any reason?
I can't imagine what I do with it. I mean,
It really doesn't have anything to do with this. He asked me if he should talk to anybody. I said, just as a courtesy, you might let both boards know what you're doing.
Right.
And I just thought, since it's a utility that's
yeah.
coming in, if Center Point saw that it had already been looked at and said it was okay.
If that makes you feel better, you can give me a copy.
Okay. Well, I just thought it would look better to Center Point if they knew that hurdle had already been crossed.
Cover your bases.
Yeah.
That the city had no aversion to approving.
Eric,
That's getting.
happy Monday.
Okay.
It's a new week. Hopefully it's a different week.
Gotta be. It is a different week.
You
Time
don't have
continues to
natural
move
gas
on.
at your house?
Huh?
You don't have natural gas?
Nobody out there does. We're all on bottled
For electric,
tanks, or I have electric heat. The only thing I have gas, I have gas for my shop in the garage, and I have gas for my cooking stove, so I don't really use much. But they never brought it out there, because I think when they put it in town, nothing was out there. And then when they started building out there, it was like one house at a time, and it wasn't worth it to them to go out there. But I would assume,
When they came to town, they put it in down Pearl Street and put it in my house. Westwood was already built. All those houses were already there.
okay, well, if that's the case, then they said there wasn't enough houses to make it worth their while, because a lot of them are electric heat.
Salem Zanin wasn't there, but
Right.
the Westwood from the start there off of Grant down to the end and then to the south or north, that was already in. Those
Yeah, I
houses
can't
were there.
I can't remember that much back then, but I know whatever was there, it wasn't enough for them to go through the trouble to do it, so they never put it out there. But I would assume some of these new homes will have gas, so they're gonna be going right by us. They might as well hook us up.
Yeah. I don't know where the line is,
there's two gas mains sitting. One is sitting on the southeast corner of the cemetery, and another gas main is sitting in front of Woody's. My cousin Greg Stillsmith just retired from Center Point, and he told me there's gas mains in both of those locations that can just be brought into the subdivision.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a big deal. I wouldn't.
And since
If they're going to supply gas to Westfall, which I would assume surely
well,
some
sure
of
they
those,
would, yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't come on into Westwood and do that while they're there.
Well, you're related to Steel Smith?
Yes, I'm a Steelsmith. My name is Steve Steelsmith. Jack, who just passed away, he was my father's first cousin.
Really? I worked with Jack for 30 years,
He is a good man.
unfortunately.
Good morning, Sherry.
Hi,
How's your day going?
depends on if I keep power, water, and functioning. If I keep all that, I'll be pretty good.
Well, we have high hopes, I can tell you that.
We got the water up and the phones and the internet was out for that day. And then the next day was power and then.
We had the same problem. Our software didn't update overnight. And then probably I don't really know, but I'm guessing about the time they got that fixed was when the whole internet went down.
Yeah.
Mine goes out about every other day. Ever since I've had Light Guide.
Ours went out on this last one, but we don't have much trouble with our
Yeah, we
internet
don't
normally.
either.
Yeah.
Ours doesn't. When the town, I see they post that theirs go out. Ours is still going. So.
Yeah.
But we're on a business account, but this
Right.
time we were not.
Yeah, it's amazing how an
It don't make any
accident
difference
and
what account you're on, if the Light Guide's out, it affects everybody.
it's amazing
But
how
it
an
does,
accident in
because if
Fort
it's
Wayne
business,
can cause
they
ours
get
to
you
go out.
Or anybody else, like they'll come get us going like first thing, and then they'll let you guys go the rest of the day. If it's a business.
Well, I'm kind of a business too, down there.
Yeah.
And they don't come and get me fixed either. I've been out several days, so
Do you call and tell them you're on a business?
they know I'm on business account.
I know, but you gotta like stress it.
Uh,
Just like I'm here today to stress it.
Okay. We got a couple more minutes and then we're gonna,
Who are you with?
It's 12 minutes after 5.
You with MetroNet? Oh, see, I'm with MetroNet.
You know.
So. But I haven't had good problems with MetroNet that I see going around.
it's expensive, but it's usually on. And when it's not on, it's a bad day at my house because my wife can't watch TV when it's down, and that is not a good day.
Oh, do you guys just stream?
Yeah,
No. We're about ready to go to that.
it's, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it or not, but it seems to be pretty good. 59, where's Pat at? He told me he's gonna be here.
It's just 5:15,
5:15.
which I think so.
We got a while then. We might want to take a nap while we're waiting. Pat must be already taking a nap.
Is he back?
Yeah, I just talked to him Saturday night. I think he told me he's gonna be here. His wife, he sent me a picture of her leg and ankle where she broke that leg. Oh my gosh.
That's not good.
It's nasty.
For a young person, it's nasty. For an old
I've
person,
never
it's
seen
horrendous.
anything like that. That thing is just all. Ugh. All right, 8 o'clock. You got me turned on down there, Earl?
But if you want me to, I will.
Yep. I guess go ahead. We will start open the meeting for the Thorntown Utilities for July 21st. Everybody's here except Pat on the board. We got Grumpy here from the town board. And I don't have my thing ready. So if it's all right with you, Sherry, I'm gonna start with Steve over here because I know why he's here and it's a quick, doesn't have anything to do with what's been going on. So you've kind of already been through it for everybody except Eric. So now's the official go through it again.
My name's Steve Silsmith, and I'm a recent resident of Thorntown. My wife and I relocated here about a year and a half ago in Salem's Landing at 1209 Wesley Court. And we have LP gas, and a lot of our neighbors have electric heat, and it's a little more expensive. I come from Lebanon, and where we had natural gas. And our utility bill was quite low in the winter, and so it's kind of an adjustment to our utility, to our budget. And so after talking to my cousin who worked for CenterPoint, he informed me that there are two gas mains sitting in close proximity to us, one sitting in front of Woody's and another one on the southeast corner of the cemetery, which could be brought into our area. And so it was easy for me to accumulate signatures in Salem's Landing. It's a small addition. Not so much in Westwood. There's quite a numerous amount of houses there. And of course, people don't like looking at people approaching their doors. So I still have a few more houses there, but I have 3 pages of homeowners in those residential areas of Westwood and Salem's Landing, and we're petitioning CenterPoint Energy to extend their services into our community. I believe most of Thorntown enjoys the low cost of CenterPoint Energy's gas, and we do not. And so we're petitioning them to provide service to us. And I come to the utility board because I know that's a utility. And if we get a stamp of approval from the utility board for them to extend that into us, that's a hurdle that they may not have to cross later. I know that they'll still have to come to you to get permits, et cetera, to provide us with that. But this is just the initial foray to CenterPoint to begin the investigation as to bringing it into us. So we're hopeful that this is productive and we're going to getting. There's a lot of elderly people in our communities. And they have exorbitant bills, the electric bills that the people, especially on the west side, Westwood. And they were telling me the dollar amounts of their electric bills in the winter. And kind of feel for them. So even though they're not, it would probably have been easier for me just to have done Salem's Landing and not done Westwood. But I know some people that live in Westwood, and I know one's a widow, and she's on fixed income, and it's a burden. And so I thought I should do both communities instead of just ours. And so I'm seeking the approval of the utility board in my application to CenterPoint to acquire gas services to our two communities.
I'll go first. We've discussed this. I don't have any problem with bringing the gas in. I think it's a good thing to break the gas in. I might have a little argument about the electric being that high. I'm on electric heat. My electric bill is very cheap. If they have their heat up to 85 degrees in the winter when it's 30 below, their gas bill will be tremendous too. So you have to take that into consideration. However, that doesn't really mean anything. If people want gas, they should be able to get gas, and I don't have any problem with. My one comment would be to make sure they don't hit any water lines.
Or internet.
Or internet.
Good luck with that. Yeah, I think having more utilities in town, especially natural gas homes, is important. But I don't know that the utility board themselves have anything to do with the natural gas portion of it.
I'm sorry.
I don't think that we have anything to do with the natural gas.
We don't have any. I think
other than
he's
support.
coming mostly is just to let us as a,
I think it's great.
yeah. I don't know that if CenterPoint wanted to come and put gas in, if we could stop them if we wanted to. I don't know. I guess we could tell them they can't put it in, but I don't know why we would. So,
We have to have a reason.
yeah. No, I'm all for it. I've been for it for a long time, and I don't have, like I said, I've used very little gas in my house, but doesn't matter to me.
If it had been there when your house was built, you probably would have gas in it, have a gas furnace.
Well,
Have forced
if
air,
the
you
gas would have been
probably-
available, I
That's
probably,
what I
yes,
mean, yeah,
right.
when it was built, yeah.
Probably would have, yeah. But I'm certainly not unhappy with my electric heat. I don't pay much for electricity, and like I said, my whole house is electric. So that's the only thing I would dispute. And I know electric, I mean, if they got old heat pumps and so forth, that can make a difference too, but so yeah, I think you have our blessing.
So, could I obtain a letter saying you all approve of us?
Yeah, we can get something up for you.
Okay.
We support it, but we can't, we
Include that when
don't
I fax
approve or
this.
disapprove natural gas.
Pardon?
But we don't approve or disapprove natural gas, it's not in the Thorntown Utility. So we can just say we support it, but like approve it, there's nothing
Yes,
for us
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there's nothing for us to approve.
It's just something that says that
Yeah.
you support.
Right,
us in our effort.
he just wants to
Yeah,
say we're not
expand the
against.
utilities in the town, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
If you want natural gas, you should absolutely have it, especially if it's within the area. And I'm sure the gas company would be, I would hope that they'd be inclined to do so. Maybe more customers.
Yes, there's over 40 houses, and I have the signatures of virtually all of the property owners.
Well, if you add that to the 163, so you're looking at 200 homes, so I'd say they're probably gonna put gas in.
yeah. I would think they would. I think what this will do will bring their attention to them that there is another thing on the way that doesn't have any. They may or may not be aware of that. I don't know, but that'll make them aware that there's some more customers they can hit on their way out there, so.
Well, I assume that the timing might be correct in that they're gonna be installing their lines in, I don't know how. in
Yeah.
A few months or what?
That's one thing I have not heard anything about is gas. What they're doing, what the timeline is with the gas, but I would assume they would want to get that in there before they get it put together and have to tear it back up, yeah.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for your.
Okay. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much for taking the initiative. That's really good. Thank you.
Go mow my yard now.
Well, I'm expecting you to be mowing mine. here
I
this
know,
week.
I know.
Oh, no, it's supposed to rain all week.
All right, Sherry, I wonder why you would be here this morning.
I don't know, I'll give you 20 guesses and the first 19 don't count.
What can we do for you?
Exactly. I just need to know, and I've received some other phone calls from other restaurants in town. Who's gonna be responsible for the outage that we had? We're out a lot of money if you add all of us together, and I know the town is too, but we're small businesses. And we need that money to come in for ourselves to buy our next week's product, pay our next week's payroll, to pay our utility bills. And now we've lost over a week of all that, and we're talking a lot of money. So I come down and I talk to the town and they're like, you've got to submit your bill to, is it IMPA? Is that how you say it?
Well,
And they're like,
you were given some bad information.
okay.
I'll stop you now. I know why you're here and I know what you want and I know others are in the same boat.
We just don't, we're
So
at
here's-
loss of what we do next.
Exactly. So here's what I'm going to tell you. From the minute this thing started, my concern was businesses. I don't care. No, that's not the way to say it. I care about the people in town. I care that we were out of water. I'm in the same situation they are. It was an inconvenience for me. I couldn't go to the refrigerator and get my glass of ice, and that really upset me.
Yes.
Okay?
And don't get me wrong, I understand accidents happen.
Yes.
Totally understand
I'm
that.
going to get to that. So, but I knew fairly quickly what it was going to do to the businesses and what it was doing, especially the restaurants. I understood that. Earl and I went to we made a lot of phone calls trying to speed this whole process up. There was no way to speed it up. Nobody worked on the weekend that did that work. That's what exacerbated the problem. We couldn't get started for 3 days before we could do anything. So we did everything we could do to get that back on as quickly as we could. And I know it wasn't very quick, and I know it was very frustrating for you guys, and it was very frustrating for us. So here's what happened. IMPA is our work crew. They work for us. We don't have electricians in our workforce. And when we figured out Gary was quitting, we figured out really quickly it was going to be very expensive to replace him. To get union trained electricians probably would have cost us north of $120,000 for one guy.
And that doesn't include the tools and trucks.
And then that's not including all the equipment and all that. So IMPA, who we were buying our electricity from at the time, told us they had a separate division that takes care of towns. They take care of several towns in Indiana. For that same, just the $120,000, we could get a whole crew. I don't know how many guys are on that crew,
Probably-
half a dozen more.
Probably about a dozen.
Yeah,
I saw a
dozen
lot
guys.
of that.
So we got a dozen guys for the same 120. We got engineers with that money. We got, there's some other, we got equipment with that. We got a lot of things from that money. And I read Facebook. I know what people are saying. And there was a lot of false information out there, a lot of false information. We did not sell the electric company to IMPA. We didn't sell it to Duke. Duke had nothing to do with this. They did have some things to do later on with the electricity, but they had nothing to do with this. So Westfall is going in out here, and we are having to run new power lines out there to service that. While we're doing that, we have some poles that are not very good. If you've ever driven down Grant Street, a couple places, it's almost like a bridge going under the poles because they're bent so far. So we're replacing some of those poles as we do this. Earl, correct me if I'm wrong on this because I'm not 100% sure. Holy moly, Mark
No, they
did the markers, right?
No, they marked it.
We marked it?
Right.
Okay, doesn't matter. There's a tool we use to find the water lines.
Yeah.
And it doesn't find plastic, it finds metal. And there's a metal rope that's right on top of the water line. So that metal rope was 2 feet from the water line. We marked the line, we marked it right on top of where the metal rope was. The water line was 2 feet away from where that was. And the utilities is supposed to go 2 feet away from the mark to drill their hole, which they did, and they hit the line. They didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. There's a horrible accident. Now, let me finish before your ears start smoking. Okay.
It's okay.
So there really, when we look back at this, there was no negligence by IMPA. There was no negligence by us. We have insurance just like everybody else does. Now, I don't know what the process, I assume somehow you're going to have to file a claim with the town, which is basically going to be a claim that we file with our insurance company. We, as a group sitting here, will have nothing to do with this decision. It's going to be an insurance decision. Now, the common sense side of me, and I don't like it, but the common sense side of me tells me that you are going to have to prove that we were negligent before our insurance will pay. And I don't think that'll happen, but I don't know. I'm not saying I know that's what's going to happen. You need to file the claim, and it'll be up to the insurance companies and the lawyers. That's my take on it. If I'm wrong, somebody speak up.
May I just give a suggestion? We farm,
Well,
and out there by our house, all the lines. And as things happen and time progresses, the wires start coming down. Normal. We called and said, hey, these are getting lower and our farm equipment's gonna hit this when we come around the, the corner, blah, blah, blah. We called and called and called and had proof of the calls. Sure enough, one day he comes around with the farm equipment and it gets those lines and brings it down and tears down the stop sign pole, everything, blah, blah. Even though we called, because we're the one that did it, we had to pay for all of it. And they sent us a bill and we had to pay for it. So I understand accidents happen. And I understand the town says they're not at fault. This other company says they're not at fault. But the businesses sure as heck aren't at fault. And like our insurance companies, some of us maybe will get paid, others of us are not, because others on the other side of the road of us have already checked.
Oh, I know.
Insurance companies won't pay because they don't have any damage to their building.
Right.
So they're totally out.
Trust me, I know all about that.
So, but as far as ours, we still gotta get in contact with them, to see what they're gonna say, but somebody, I mean,
And that, just what you just said, that's what we're gonna do.
mhm,
When you file that claim, we're gonna go to our insurance company and we're gonna be fighting with ours just like you're fighting with yours. So I guess all I'm saying is, as citizens of Thorntown and as friends with each other,
oh, sure.
let's not make it personal,
Oh, no,
because it's gonna be the insurance companies. We're out of it, just like you're out. You're depending on your insurance company. We're depending on ours.
so would then your suggestion be, or advice to us as restaurant owners, is go ahead and file the claim with you guys, you file with your insurance, or do we just file it with our insurance and let the insurance companies battle it out and we stay out of it? I'm just trying to figure out.
That's a
the
good
best
question.
route.
I'm not a lawyer.
I'm just trying to figure out the best route to
Be-
go.
Between me and you, that makes the most sense, but,
I'm just trying to figure out the quickest too,
You're in a
because
car accident.
and we are too. We don't know
You're
either.
in a car accident, you want your car fixed, like right now, you want your car fixed.
Mhm.
Your insurance company will fix your car.
Mhm.
They'll contact the other person's insurance company, reimburses. Therefore, the two car owners, car drivers have nothing to do with it. It's
Right.
the two insurance. So
I
my
just-
suggestion would be the quickest, you contact yours, because it's gonna take a minute to go through all this.
yeah, I figured as much. But my understanding, I just want to make sure I'm not dinged with my insurance company because I had filed this claim and I had nothing to do with it. Two, deductible, I still had nothing to do with it. Am I gonna get dinged?
Have you talked to your insurance company yet?
Jeff did, but we all know Jeff and he's gotta get back with him today,
Well, the
so.
reason I'm asking
Yeah.
is because if your insurance is like Stuckey's and they tell you that there's no damage to your building, that's
Mine
true.
is not.
Okay,
but
well, possibly
I'm not.
you would get something out of your insurance company, but here's something
But
that's
probably
not
not the
been,
full amount
well, here's something that's not been discussed. The whole thing totally was an accident. There was
understand, yeah.
nothing done wrong.
I'm not
From
blaming,
everything
I'm
I-
not here to blame anybody.
Right.
No,
we're-
I know,
I'm not,
but
and I
I'm-
appreciate
They call it
everything that
hidden
you
but
guys
just-
did.
Just let me tell you what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
These guys were Johnny on the spot
Oh,
when this
yeah.
happened.
I
They
understand, and
got
I
Lebanon,
appreciate
they got
it.
Lebanon over here, and within about 4 hours, water was flowing again to everybody. So if you want to really blame somebody, the health department is the one to blame because they're the one that shut you off. Thorntown did not shut you off, and you had water in 4 hours.
Mhm.
Now, I know personally from talking to these guys that somebody, when they were told to boil the water, was too late. He already drank water out of there and he's still alive today, so it didn't kill him. There's nothing the matter with the water that you got in 4 hours or 5, whatever. It wasn't very long that the water was out. So those guys worked their ass off and got everything together, got the pipe fixed, the water turned back on, and everybody had water. So the health department's what shut you down, and the health department is what caused the time frame between when you couldn't open until last Thursday when you could. And there was nothing they could do about it, nothing we could do about it. From the town board's point of view, there's nothing we could do about it either. The town board was, or the whatever, the health department was over the problem.
I'm
So-
gonna make one last suggestion that might end this conversation. So you're here to ask us what your next step is. I understand that. Stuckey's the same way.
Yeah.
That everybody wants to know, what do we do to take the next step? To my knowledge, nobody here knows that yet. There is a town board meeting tonight, which I assume the town's lawyer will be present. I certainly hope.
She said she would, yeah.
Okay. I think we'll have answers. Either you can be there or 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
We will all be there. Well, I can't speak for, yeah, we will all be there. I'm hoping to get answers at that meeting. I haven't called her personally. It's kind of hard to do that sometimes, but she will know what the next step is. She will know what's going to happen. She might give some guidance on whether she thinks you've got a chance to recover anything from us.
Yeah,
And no matter what she says, if she says you don't have a chance, doesn't mean you can't still go get your lawyer and lawyer
Well,
up.
that was
And
gonna be my, should I also make that the third option? Do we just need to, I don't wanna do that, it's a small.
I would not get in a hurry to do that,
Yeah.
because here's what's going to happen. Here's the thing. If we get
So-
to the point where we tell you the process, you go through the process, and we say you're not getting anything, okay, that's when you can get a lawyer. But if we go through that process and you don't get anything, the chances are you're going to pay that lawyer and you're going to lose some more money, and you're probably still, if at that point you can't get anything, you probably won't get anything with a lawyer. Now, I'm not telling you not to get a lawyer. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not a lawyer. I can't give you any advice. I'm just telling you, I think that's how it's going. They're going to tell you how to file a claim with the town. We're going to file it with our insurance, just like you and Stuckey and everybody else is filing with your insurance. And your insurance is telling you they're going to pay you or they're not going to pay you. And that's exactly what our insurance is going to do. And at that point, if they say the insurance isn't going to pay, we can't write a check out of the town funds and pay you, because that would be fraud. And we're spending people's money in town that we shouldn't be spending.
But,
It sounds
okay,
like we're heartless here, and I feel horrible
yeah,
for
so
all of you.
Let me ask you, if they say you're not gonna get any money and you guys aren't gonna get any money, or what, all the money that's cost you that you guys are out, how is that?
Oh, we're out our money. We probably won't even file a claim other than the businesses. And,
Because I know it wasn't just the restaurants, and you know that as a thing.
Oh.
I mean, the beauty shop had to shut down, the dentist office had to shut down.
well, the beauty shop shouldn't have had to shut
Yeah,
down.
they wouldn't let them even
Water.
wash.
That third water.
Oh, did the health department shut them down?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not realize
Well,
that.
in case somebody had an open wound on their.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah. They-
I didn't know that. I thought they were still going.
Oh,
I
no.
didn't hear from that.
She was going, if somebody wanted to do a dry haircut,
Yeah,
but
okay.
if they
Well.
wanted the shampoo and stuff,
Well,
no.
here's,
But it's like,
there's one other thing that can help you out, and I know this is a long time before you can, but when you file taxes, it's a write-off. So, I mean, I know you probably already filed this year,
Like
so,
loss of inventory, correct?
well, yeah,
You can
yeah,
write-
you can write off your loss of inventory from your taxes, so,
Mhm.
but it's gonna be a while before you can do that, obviously. But you can recoup some of it, and Stuckey can too.
I understand that, but as us being a small business and just open, we rely on that sales to go from one, because I'm still paying off the building and this and that. I rely on that sales to make those payments for the month so I can survive for the next month.
Absolutely.
So if I don't have those sales, my employees are out their income that week, we have product. I totally understand that. I
And-
can, however, like you said, we can just let the insurance still do it.
It's
I can
not
snuggle
us,
up to my
it's not us
husband, I'm like,
against
"Can the
you.
farm loan me the money,
Yeah, it's not us
to
against
survive.
you.
I
It's,
just don't know my next steps.
yeah,
Oh, no, I'm not trying to
yeah.
blame anybody. I'm
Right.
not trying to say, I mean, you were great, you came right to the door, informed us, I mean, and we were informed. I read it too, nobody knew what was going on, but, you know, we knew what was going on the whole time, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's just now I'm trying to figure out my next step of
And
how do I kind of get back some of that to be able to then keep the doors open for the town to have choices.
right.
Because
And us as a board and the town board as a board, as soon as we have those answers, we need to let particularly the businesses know what their recourse is. It's not hurting my feelings, whatever recourse you have to take. Do what you got to do, because I'm not taking it personal. I understand. My dad was in business for over 50 years, and I wasn't heavily involved in that, but I was involved enough to know when you miss a week's pay and you have to throw away a bunch of food, it's tough. The money didn't come in to replace it, and you're working on a pretty tight shoestring sometimes, and I get that. I understand that. I'm all for whatever you need to do, you have to do it. It's not, I hope, and I'm not just talking to you, I hope it doesn't become personal, because we're not against you. We support the businesses in town, and I've had a steak at Stookies already. I've had chicken over here, and I'll be having a pizza, couple of pizzas before it's over with. I know that's not, my one little meal ain't helping a lot, but I think we all need to eat out and do it in Thorntown.
and I will say, the town has been very good at, you know, I don't know about the other restaurants because I wasn't on all week, we were gone on a trip. But that next day that we could open, the town did come out and support, and we had a great amount of sales that day, which could possibly help me get through this. If I get a little loan from my husband, but I'm just trying to figure out where, you know,
Sure,
where to go, what to do.
I get it.
Because I've not been through this before, and I don't know. I'm like, do I just give you guys the bill and you foot it, or you deal with your insurance, or do I give that company the bill? And
I would definitely file it with your company. And then, like I said, you can either come tonight or we'll let people know after tonight. I don't know. I have no idea. But the lawyer
I mean,
is supposed to be here.
Sounds
She's
like
going to be
this.
able to tell us what people need to do.
yeah.
I have personally been through utility outages
Huh?
and own a meat processing plant, and I can tell you that it wasn't easy.
Right.
You know, we had electric power and we have $500,000 worth of inventory. And I blew out a lot of refrigeration contactors, and it ended up being a drunk driver who hit a utility pole, not the utility company's fault. I lost 5 refrigeration contactors, about $500 a piece. We didn't lose any inventory because the mask kept it cold, but the end result was I ended up paying for all of the contactors. Utility has no accountability responsibility. You can have insurance for loss of product, and you have to pay an additional premium for power outages. But our only recourse, honestly, was nothing. We replaced the refrigeration contactors and, of course, installed a generator. And the generator hasn't been installed yet, but it's really difficult to challenge utilities because they have a very big system they have to maintain. And so, certainly do the process, hit your insurance company up. You may have product coverage insurance. It just depends what policy you have. We didn't cover it because of premium. So
I think we do. So I think that's
so
why
check that and file a claim
I'm
there.
pretty sure.
And then, certainly work the process.
Yeah.
Contact an attorney if you feel so inclined, which, by default, contact the town and such and work through the process. It's not personal, it's just business.
And that's not
everyone carries
something-
insurance for different reasons. We have to find out if there's coverage.
Yeah.
But utilities do have a pretty big, I want to say, quote unquote, get out of jail free card because the system is huge. It's national. And there are so many things that can happen, the hidden conditions, weather, stuff that stacks. So it's
Well,
really
even
difficult.
even at that, comes down to, we're not at fault, we're not at fault, we're not at fault, insurance won't pay. Is there some kind of grant or something that the town can look into? Or something,
That's a good thought. I have no idea.
I don't either. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
I think the first thing, after all this discussion, and, you know, you guys chime in, but it sounds like the first thing to do is file a claim with your insurance. And the reason I say that, if they're gonna pay, let's say most of it,
That's kind of my thought
and,
too.
and then you have a deductible, then the deductible is what you wanna, you don't wanna turn the whole thing into us if they're paying 75% of it.
Right,
So I think your insurance company's the first step. See what they're gonna do. If you get money from us, it's not gonna be tomorrow or next week. So you might as well see what
I
your
didn't
insurance,
expect that.
yeah, your insurance companies, I think, is the first thing. Find out what they're gonna do. As soon as you know what they're gonna do, then you know what you need to file with Thorntown, however that pans out. Like I said, we should know tonight. Stuckey's waiting on the same information. I'm sure Audiel and the rest of them are
Yeah.
waiting on it too. But hopefully, we know more after the town board meeting tonight. I think we all will know more. But this is going to be if anybody gets any money, and again, I'm not saying whether they will or won't, but if anybody gets any money, it's going to be a long, drawn out process. If you're not going to get any money, it may be a quick answer. I don't know. But we don't have anything to do with that decision. That's,
And I didn't expect you to know that. I just was kind of like, okay, got maybe some guidance.
well,
I've not been through it and I don't.
I appreciate the fact that you're here. I thought we would have more here today. I'm not, I'm not gonna say anything about that. I could say a lot about that, but I'm not going to. But I'm glad you came. I mean, we need to keep an open communication, and we need to keep an open communication with all the others. I wish more of the people with the businesses were here so we could tell them. I guess the only thing we know for sure that you should do is come to the board meeting tonight. So,
I didn't even know there was one tonight. So
and
that's good.
we'll pass, if there are people who are not here, we'll try to pass the information we learn along, but if they're here, they know firsthand what was said and what's going on.
So then if we do have to, I mean, I know our insurance companies will know how to do it, but if we do need to file a claim with the town, who will have, is there a form? Is there some?
That's
okay.
what we'll find out tonight.
Okay.
We
okay.
really,
I'm just keeping track.
I don't know
of
what these
all-
guys know, but I know zero about what the
Okay.
next step
I'm
is.
just keeping track of everything that I would know,
Yeah.
what myself would have determined by last month's, you know, my payroll that I'm out, my product that I threw away, you know, I've got the bills, exactly what it cost me. I'm not estimating any of that. I'm not trying to.
Yeah,
you know,
you'll have to have,
Yeah, I
you'll
have
have to
all
have
that,
all
and that's what and then I'm like,
Our lawyer will tell you tonight, she'll be able to tell you,
okay,
what steps are to go through, if there are steps to go through with the town and how the town would handle it if it comes through the town. Because you guys got a lawyer too.
sort of.
So,
We're gonna talk about that after bed.
but our lawyer will be here tonight, so she'll be able to tell you, you know, the answer to your question, what you've got a question of. Just don't be saying that Max is a great guy because he came down and talked to you, because now he's got the big head, and I'm about to jump him big time because the electric going off and on has fried my computer.
well,
So
yeah.
I got hurt, not by the water, I got hurt by the electric, so I got a fried computer down there in my business.
Every time it goes off, it fries my printer. I've been through 3 printers in the kitchen already, so that was my next step, you know. I'm out for all these printers and then all this and all this, but
Just to comment on his
those I
comment,
can
John,
deal with versus
John is
this.
keeping me down to earth. Don't worry. It's okay to say something good about me because John's
I'll give you
making
your
sure.
pizza.
No, I don't want a free pizza. Okay.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out where I was going. Like I said, I'm not blaming anybody, and I do appreciate keeping
I,
us informed, and how fast it did come back up, and, it was inconvenience there for a little bit. And so it came up, and then we were,
yeah, we're gonna have to all work through it together, and we're gonna all have to keep in our head and keep remembering that we aren't making the decisions. The insurance companies and the lawyers are running the world. At least our little world with this.
I wish we faced more technical. But okay,
Well,
we're good. All right, that's all I needed.
okay,
All right,
thanks
thanks.
for coming. I'm glad you came down. All right. You awful quiet down there, Earl.
Just waiting.
All right, I have a couple of things on the regular agenda to talk about. First of all, this is not really a big issue. It's just something I told Earl and I thought I saw somebody walking across the room. It was the TV. It's on part of the screen and I'm like, who's back there?
Yeah, I'd say they not.
I told Earl, and I think I mentioned this to you, that we just need to get it on the record. So when Earl attends town board meetings, I think it was already established that he should get paid for overtime for going to the third meeting of the month. I think Gary was supposed to get paid for that. I don't know if he did or not, but and then the question is, and I don't really have a problem with this, but if Earl goes, he's required to go to that third meeting. So he should definitely be paid for that. The first meeting, he is not actually required to go to, but he goes to them frequently. Should he get paid overtime for those two?
So is there anything written in the, so I'll go to the top of the list. Is there anything written in the employment contract that clarifies exactly?
That's why we're bringing it
It's
up.
not, okay.
There's to my knowledge, there's
No
nothing.
requirement for the head of any of the departments to be here in the first meeting.
But
So,
I think things.
Considering the volatility of our utilities in the past several months, I think you'd be very, very, very wise to have Earl attend both meetings.
Right.
Because I mean, to have the town board try to address questions when Earl was the man on the ground who physically saw and knew exactly
Right.
what was happening.
And things happen at those other meetings frequently that touch
Yeah,
on.
I
The
like,
utility is a large portion of the town. Right?
I like having him here. And if you guys decide to pay him, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem. I'm just saying that the other, just like the fire department, the fire department, we don't have anybody here, which is really torquing me. I guess he'll be here tonight, from what I understand, but I know I told him way back there when I talked to Steve that he needs to be here on the second meeting, which is the third weekend, or third Monday, but he never has showed up. But what's his name that was on there before, he never showed up unless he needed something. That's when every time they need something, they show up to ask for money or something, you know.
Every department head should be required to be here for that meeting, and they should be required to give a report of some kind of what they're going on, what they got going on. So I'm going to make a motion here and I'm going to make a complete new motion that Earl is required to be at the second meeting of the month and will be paid overtime for that. And he is encouraged but not required, to be at the first meeting of the month and will be paid overtime for the ones that he attends.
Does that sound reasonable to you, Roy? Sure.
Is that, I'm trying to keep it as open as I can, but
That sounds like a completely reasonable motion. I second that motion.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes, and that's what we'll do from here on out. I think maybe we've been doing that anyway, right? Which is fine. I just, like I said, I just want to get it on the record so there's no,
Well, you might want to talk about, if Earl comes down, talks to me every day, you know, paying for that too.
he gets paid for that. Well, it depends on what time he talks to
I was
you.
gonna say, if it's after 5 o'clock,
If it's, no. We cannot afford that.
I can assure you.
I've been in some, I go down there frequently too, and we can't afford overtime to talk to him.
I can assure you guys, I put a lot of time in here. I never put on my time sheet, so rest assured.
Nobody's questioning that. I
I'm
just-
telling you.
Yeah, that's fine. I
I'm
just wanted
trying
to,
get you some more money,
I
Earl. You come
appreciate
down and
that.
talk to me.
Keep trying, man.
I actually am in favor of all of that. I'd like to, I'd like to guys to get.
See, we're open to 5:30, so if you come down there after 5, well,
Hang out.
you guys are closed.
that comes off of his tab. He can pay you
All right.
whatever he wants to
Yeah,
pay.
the grumpy consulting rate.
Okay, so now I do have some serious stuff here. I mean, this is particularly with what we're going through right now. We have an attorney for the utilities. He's worthless. I've talked to Amy. She said, there's somebody in her office that does utility attorneying, for lack of a better word. I don't know what they call them, but
It's a specialty, so to speak.
she said there's a couple of people in their office that do that, and we could hire them. She said we could, at some point in time, get into a conflict of interest because she covers the town. And if we would ever get into it with the town, then we would have to find another lawyer for that particular thing. Now, under the circumstances with the gun we're under right now, she said she will help us while we're trying to work through this. She was going to talk to the people in her office to see if they were interested in it. We have, if we still have it over there, Earl, I gave Gary a file with a lawyer that I was told I think he's a young lawyer, but I was told he's a good lawyer, and it's in a file and you may not be able to find it.
I do know the file you're talking about.
Okay.
There's a file over that has a few lawyers who were.
There could be more than one.
Did you ask
Yes.
for resumes from people to be the lawyer?
Yeah, there was one.
I know the file you're talking
Okay.
about.
So we could
What's
look,
the name?
I don't remember.
If I told you, would you know?
I don't know.
Riley Clark?
I don't think so,
Okay.
but I'm not sure. I don't think that was the name.
That's Parr Ritchie's. No, that's a totally different firm.
I was going to say, the lawyer we have now is with Parr Ritchie, and you can never get a hold of him. We asked him to do something. It took him forever, and he didn't even do the whole job.
Yeah, I think you need to let him go and get another lawyer. I'm 100% in agreement with that.
Oh, I don't
The
have,
only, yeah, the only thing that I'm questioning is getting it from the same firm if we do happen to get into some kind of
right.
legal issue.
And I'm not saying we
What's the-
should, I agree with
What's
that.
the likelihood of that happening, and should
I
we
was
just
gonna
take
say,
care of
what-
that right now?
What can you foresee that would be a possibility that you'd be in a fight with the town board?
Right.
I mean, what can you see?
Oh,
Any of you three of you, can you see anything that would be a legal fight with the town board?
No, but again, that might be a question asking yourself. You
yeah,
made the suggestion, it might be a conflict.
yeah.
What do you think?
So what are the conflicts of that? Bingo, I think we're
So-
gonna ask her.
So here's what I'm thinking right now, and feel free to disagree. I don't have a problem. I don't know what I'm doing. 2 o'clock in the morning, you think of a lot of things while you're laying there trying to go to sleep. So like I said, she said she'll try to cover us till we get somebody as best she can. My thing is, if we can get the lawyer that she has in her office, and we make this clear right up front, that we've got this problem with the 2 lawyers in the same building, but we need a lawyer right now. So can this guy, one of these guys, take this and help us out till we get through this, which may or may not be a big deal, while we are finding a permanent lawyer? I don't know. I feel like that's fair. I mean, if I go out to get a lawyer, I don't get a lawyer and tell them I want them for everything I do. I go get a lawyer for a specific problem, which, knock on wood, I haven't really had to do much, but.
Is the town board satisfied with the services of the current attorney and their
Yeah.
company? You're doing a good job. So it comes out of recommendation.
I think for the
I
most
wasn't at first, but then I've been through, I'm going on my 7th year, I think, on the town board. When I first started, I thought that she interjected more than she should have. But since the last year or two, I've gotten to know her a lot better. And since I've been the president of the board, we get along fine. And I don't allow her to be telling the town board what they're gonna do. That's not her job. Her job is just to keep legalities. So we don't overstep legalities. That's what her job is. And the same thing with you guys. However, they're there for me. She's there for me to call if I've got a problem or something that especially with all this going on out here, any legal problem, then she's available. And when I call her quite a few times, and she calls. If she doesn't answer, I'll get her voicemail, and she'll call me right back. And
She is accessible.
and I don't have a problem with the accessibility for her, and I think she's a pretty good lawyer. I didn't like the firm she was with because the son of a bitch, I shouldn't say that on here, but she worked for, it was a womanizer, and that's who, he was a butthole, and I still say that about him, but she's not in that firm anymore. She's in a different firm. But yes, I'm satisfied with her, and the only thing I can, and I don't know how that she's gonna work this. I don't have any problem with her working with you, but I know how lawyers work. They work by the minute, and they keep track of their minutes, so I don't know whether she's charging us
I hope so.
for when you talk to her, because I want you to talk to her. I gave you her number.
Right. I haven't
But-
talked to her a lot, and I don't plan. Here,
Well, but I'm just saying, I don't know what she's doing. If she's gonna help you of her own free will, I think it's great. And if she's not, then we'll pay for it anyway, because she's gonna charge us. We pay her so much a year, just like you do IMPA, but there's places where she charges extra.
right.
And I don't know whether you're an extra or not. And I don't really care, because you need somebody
Right.
that you can deal with. And especially on this situation we got here with this water deal. It's gonna be just like you said, it's gonna be a legal deal. And it's gonna be up to lawyers. We're not paying a dime out of Thorntown's
Right.
coffers, and you're not paying a dime out of yours. And
I don't
You
think
know.
we could if we wanted to.
well, you're right. Well, we can't either.
So here's my, a little bit of, and you know this, whether you're thinking about this right now or not. We, as a utility board, don't have the insurance policy. The town has it. We're covered under
Yeah,
that umbrella
umbrella policy, right?
thing for the town. So at this point, whatever happens is going to be handled by the town and their insurance, which is Amy. So I think we're at a point now where we we may not need Amy, we may not need a lawyer, because it's gonna all funnel through the town, and that insurance policy, they're not, I mean, they might talk to us and they might try to sue us, but if they sue us, they're suing you. They're not suing us because you have the policy and you cover. So, but I just want to, I don't know, again, we might need to talk to Amy about some of that tonight. Oh, well, we definitely need to talk to her about some of it.
But that, what you just introduced is new, since it's covered under insurance.
Do what now?
Insurance. Since it's covered under a town insurance, not the utility insurance.
Right.
Yeah, what would be the purpose of our attorney other,
Well, I don't know, but I don't like, with what's going on, I don't like to be hanging out here without any access to one.
Yeah, I think you guys need to have access to an attorney, and if one attorney can do it all, I have no problem with that, but I figure that if she's going to do both, you guys and us, there's gonna be another bill involved here coming from
Well,
the utility department, because she ain't gonna do both without getting
if they keep,
compensation.
if they keep track of time on phone calls and letters on emails, she should be keeping track of that.
we just need to notify her that she has to separate.
When she's talking to me, she should send the bill to us. That part of it.
Well,
And
what
again,
I'm saying is, I don't have a problem with her doing both if she wants to do both, and
Yeah.
you want her to do both. I don't have a problem with that. I just think that she's been very receptive, and I can tell you for sure that I've called our town lawyer over here on several occasions, and she never calls me back or returns a call.
we
And I
can,
have a hard time getting a hold of Debbie, period.
the one we had at PAR, you can't even, he wouldn't answer stuff. We couldn't, you can't call him. There's no access to him at all. It's horrible.
I think you guys need, if you have a separate one, that's fine, but I think you guys need one to have access to.
Oh, yeah.
For the things that's going on here and what's going on out there, between now and the 163 homes. There's a whole lot going on. So like Earl said, there's stuff happening all the time. And there's stuff, stuff goes on out there that neither one of us know anything about.
I've been on here for coming up on either 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure which. It's one or the other.
Too, I
And
think.
we've had a lawyer the whole time I've been on here, and we've called him once. And we might as well have called you. We'd have got more information. So, yeah. So regardless of what we're going to do, we need to do something.
If you needed one once, you need one.
Yeah.
You need the availability. So that's what I'm just thinking that.
We need a short-term fix, whatever that is, and then we need to, whether we keep the same lawyer we use right now or whether we get a completely different one, we need to get on that pretty
I
soon
agree with
too.
the process of making that call. So
Yeah.
like checking with Amy, the next step, who should be concerned? Yeah, you need to get one from her firm if they're available. If not, we go. And ultimately, the end point is to hire a permanent attorney because the current one is not doing.
Yeah.
Is that all? Is that got all that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
So
yeah,
check with Amy,
If-
right through there, and then next step, we're going to get some permanent.
if she wants to use a separate firm or a separate lawyer in her firm for a short-term deal to help us out, we can do that. If she doesn't want to do that, and since it's all going to come through the town now, she may say, well, you guys are kind of out of it now anyway, and I'll just deal with it, and you can find you a lawyer somewhere, and then we need to do that.
Well, the thing I would say would be good is if she's got two lawyers over there that deal with utilities, she's got access to help. If you
Exactly.
guys come up with something and
Right.
ask her, she's got access to help right in her own office where she doesn't have to go somewhere else to find the answers.
Yeah.
So it, might be beneficial for her to be working with you anyway.
I think to get through this thing, I just want to make sure we have a lawyer that we can talk to.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about what's going to happen in the end, because whatever happens in the end is going to come through her and you guys. But
I could
just in
about-
case we need advice in the interim about this problem.
I can just about tell you, you're gonna list a lot more cuss words from Stuckey because he ain't gonna get anything, and neither Sherry, and neither's the.
You know what? You're gonna give him that information.
I don't,
Or Pat. Pat's his buddy. I'll send Pat up there.
well, I talked to him the other day when I ate up there. I knew he was in trouble when he pulled a chair up and sat down at our table.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah.
See, when I went in,
Right.
he wouldn't, when I first went in, well, I'm not gonna get into that right now, but we'll talk later. What else did I have? What time is it? I gotta, work.
9 o'clock,
It's not even 9 yet.
8:59.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a doctor's appointment at 9:50, so,
I got one at 11 something.
Is it in Loveland?
yeah.
The only other thing I had on here, and we've already pretty much gone through it, was discussing what steps businesses need to take at the town board meeting tonight. I think we just wait till the town board meeting tonight.
I gotta tell you, my experience of losing power, from owning a meat processing plant with $1 million worth of inventory, there's nothing.
Yeah, I don't think,
The engineer, you could talk to you blue in the face, there's nothing that we got out of it.
yeah.
You know, and I could show you the contactors, and piles of contactors are in place, you know, so then the insurance company had an option for loss of inventory, insurance, and those types of things, and personal premiums in play. So I knew that there was a division between, you know, loss of insurance because of.
Well, that's the thing. Even when you file a claim and they pay, all you're doing is making payments on that claim because they're gonna jack it up to get their money back.
And, you know, the town's premiums will go up, and that just, you know,
Yeah,
it's part of it, but I understand the situation, but I think, yeah, just follow the process.
yeah,
Go out to the insurance company if you feel like it's not true, you find it.
yeah. I feel horrible
They
about
gotta
it.
fight for their business. I'm right there with them fighting for their business.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
guess
that's all I
what
had.
have to do is file with you then.
Do what?
For $800 computer, I gotta file with you. So you're gonna need that lawyer.
No, you're gonna file it with the town. We don't have any insurance. Our insurance is through the town. So file it to yourself, dude.
I was gonna go buy a
So,
computer the other day.
I'm kind of new to this process in regards to the outages and things of that nature. And I apologize, I was out of town. I had scheduled, my brother had cancer and I was out there seeing him.
Oh, well, you got,
It was perfect timing, right? Yeah, I scheduled about a month and a half, ago, so I apologize.
Pat was out of town too.
I was incredibly guilt-ridden on my time out there. But I guess the thing that I saw, my only way of connecting without hassling calling you guys was I look at Facebook. And of course, I understand people's anger. I've been one of those angry folks as well, losing my internet. What have you.
We've all done it.
So my
Except
question,
Earl,
though,
he
is
don't.
when there's like a outage, is there someone on call that mans phones of that nature, that they get paid to man the phones to ensure you're in? No. Okay.
Whoever's on call, if the office is not open, once you call the office, after a few rings, it transfers to the person on call. So first off, where are you going with that?
Oh, so my endpoint is this, the biggest complaint that I could round up off the internet is people want to know exactly what was going on, when it was going on, and the utility office isn't calling back. And it's like, well, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if you're willing to pay someone to be on call 24/7 or sit in the office.
I want
all the
to,
time-
I want to make and Earl can comment on it, but I'm going to go first. 99% of those people are just nosy. What good does it do to tell me, first of all, Earl's on call. He's got the first call. He's going out to try to find the problem. I guess I should let you tell this, but he's going out to try to find the problem. The phone's still ringing.
Right.
Do I answer the phone or do I go fix the problem? By the time we know what the problem is, they want to know what the problem is. And Earl, correct me if I'm wrong, most of the time we spend on a call is trying to find the problem. Once we find the problem, it takes 10 minutes to fix. So by the time we get on there to tell them what the problem is, the power's back on. We don't know what the problem is any more than they do until we get out there and find it. Take off, Earl.
Oh, boy. I have to read meters today, so I'm not going to talk too long. However, so probably just shy of 100 phone calls I received for the Saturday problem. Now, I probably answered the first, and I'm not exaggerating, probably the first 25 to 30, I literally answered. But my phone was ringing so much at one point in time, I couldn't even call in them. Because as you start to hit your phone starts ringing, and so there's no pure answer to what you're asking, and everything that Max says is right. I spend more time answering questions I don't even have answers to than I have solving or getting to the point where I can solve the problem. So, well, how long is it going to take? Well, how long? I'm not
Don't even know what's wrong yet.
I'm not even decided yet. Well, are they? I don't know. And then you have the experts that want to tell you, well, have you checked? I'm telling you right now, I'm on the phone. Well, did you look at that? I'm still coming in to check it out. Look. So bless them. I know this individual doesn't realize they just said the same thing. This person, this person, this person. I'm repeating myself to you. There's no pure answer. It gets to the point where I can't return all these calls. I cannot. Sandy's out there, whatever. Her, she's volunteered to come in to ward it off. She's gonna tell them the same thing. We don't know.
Volunteered, she didn't compensate.
She would be if she came in, but she didn't have to come in. But my point is that
Is she gonna call in at least?
it's her day off. She needs to
I'll have to see.
keep it if she wants it.
So that's what I'm driving
But if
at.
she's answering the phone, she's basically telling the same thing. So it gets to a point where it's redundant and you cannot, let me get your electricity back up as quick as possible. And I could relate it to a couple other things, but no, there's no pure way to do that unless you want to put two people on call. The other call person would be either Danielle or Sandy, and you're asking me to call up. Hey, you might be in for 10 minutes. You might be in for 5 hours, for depending what the problem is. Well, I can't make it in. Or, okay, sure, I'll come in and man the phones. Therefore, I'm running.
But they're doing it based on their own. Yeah, I'm not doing anything, I'll come in. It's like, when the power goes out, to man the phones or help you out. It's not like a requirement.
At this point in time, yes.
Well, which makes sense, right?
Right.
What I just was trying to figure out, people wanting to know information very quickly, they're very spoiled with it. So, but all of what you just described costs money.
Sure does.
And if you want someone to be on manning the phones 24/7 to man social media when these occurrences happen, they have to be on call, which means they get paid to be on call. So the answer is, well, we can have someone on call.
And we already charge way too much for our water.
So that's my point I'm driving at is you can't have services that you feel super quick results.
Lebanon,
Money's thrown
I don't know how they do this, but Lebanon has some way they send out a mass, well, it's like on Facebook, except it goes out to everybody that is on the internet in Lebanon. So that if you're on the internet, you know that the
There's
power's
companies that
down.
Do that.
Huh?
There are companies. that
Well, we
do
have
that. You
we
can
have
hire
that internet
a
on
company
the
that
Thorntown.
does that.
I get text
We do, but you
messages.
have to sign up for it.
Yeah.
Well,
And one thing we
and
need,
that's on people. I'm sorry,
I understand
that's on
that. One thing we need to do is maybe, and I've seen that during this deal 2 or 3 times where somebody put that on there to sign, where you can sign up for it. I don't know how we get to people to tell them.
Oh, it's not, in my opinion, it's not our job. But if someone asks, what I'm trying to drive at is, well, I think it's great that you want instant information. I'd be more than willing to hire several additional people to man a mini call center here in Thorntown with a backup generator, so they're willing to pay additional rates to support these people. And you know what the answer is going to be? It says, okay, well, you get what you pay for, so be satisfied with what you have. I'm fine with getting a staff here to man the phones, backup generator, got call center, you got 2 people in there answering everyone's questions.
We know where
you
there-
got 10 people
We know
calling.
where there's a generator we can use because it's not of any use down there.
Okay. That was my follow-up question.
We do have-
It didn't work this past time.
Okay, I ran Freeland Palace and
We do have a problem. That is our problem, and it's your problem as well as the towns. We do not have any way, if this happens again, where the water is shut down or electricity, we don't have any way of contacting when the health department shuts down the restaurants. We didn't have any way to contact everybody that they're supposed to boil their water. The only way that got out was word of mouth or on local social media. And that's gonna come up, I think, as something maybe through tonight's meeting, I don't know. But we don't have a way to do that. You
Yeah,
guys
that-
don't have a way. we
That
don't
needs
have
to
a
be
way.
fixed. That
And
that
we
was an
don't.
issue.
Well, it is an issue because people didn't know that. It's just like, like his neighbor said, hell, the water came back on. He just already drank a glass of water. Well, hell, I've got dentures. So every night I put them in water with a tablet to clean them, and it sits there all night. The next morning I get up and brush my teeth. Well, the water was back on, so I didn't give a shit. I mean, I'm not sick, and I've been using the water since it came back on. But the health department said boil the water. So I mean, I knew that. I knew what they said. But I know there's a lot of people in town that probably had no knowledge at all that they're supposed to boil their water. And then they didn't know when the health department gave the all clear to the restaurants, the same all clear was to everybody else. But how many people in town knew they had an all clear if they knew they were supposed to boil the water?
Well, I think
So we don't have any way to do that.
so I think encouraging everyone to sign up with the phone number, the texting is like, to me, it was great. And then, but someone has to actually man it, right? So someone's got to be on call during these emergencies. Paid on
Well,
call to be able to send.
Sandy's
information.
doing that from home, and she's doing it on her own. And
But not manning a phone to.
Well, right, but sending
Right.
stuff from home and doing it on her own, when I'm driving, I think it's awesome. She cares about the people, but the amount of complaints and things makes you not want to help people because they're so mean, not knowing people are doing their best, right?
Well, what we're at is we're a community that's like this, but people want the outreach to be like this.
Right.
We're never gonna be like that yet. So
Cadillac taste with the.
some of the
with
things you
budget.
have to kind of brush off a little bit, though we're concerned about it. But when we do a boil of water, I have to fill out a questionnaire for item and notify them. And to get to what you asked, talk about notifying people, here's what they have on here. This is all they have. So they asked me, how did you let people know? So here's the checkpoints: social media, phone, email, door hangers, door-to-door postings, news outlets, or other. So literally speaking, obviously we can eliminate some of these because town to town, we have no staff to call everyone. We have no staff to email individually everyone.
We don't have anybody door to door either.
And we cannot go door to
Unless
door.
we get the
can't do
boys, the only
these-
place you can do that is get the Boy Scouts to go board, you know.
And that's not gonna happen. So
But
the
that's
point
like
is,
a
we're-
5 minute, you know.
I don't know if we
It's like
got
within a
Boy
day.
Scouts.
We're very
anymore.
limited.
yeah, we do.
in just what they require from us.
And-
That's,
And most of that stuff, the phone calls, the door to door, I did some of that.
Mhm.
Like he said, guy about 3 houses from me had already drank a glass of water before I got there. And I got there pretty quick.
I think we did more than above our due diligence to notify people in every way that we had access to us, accessible. And I think we did a pretty good job under the circumstances.
I think the whole town needs to take some responsibility in this. You're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. And we'd said in that email we sent out, we're doing this by social media. That's the only way we can get a hold of people. We understand some people don't have it or don't use it like this. Talk to your neighbor. Go tell your neighbor,
Well, Max, there's
And if
only
you
so
got-
much you can do for outreach.
huh?
There's only so much you can do for outreach.
Well, I know,
Yeah,
but
go
what
easy
I'm
on
what I'm
yourself.
saying is, if you got older relatives that you know aren't on the thing, give them a call. I called 2 or 3. I didn't call a bunch of people. I called 2 or 3 people, knocked on a couple of doors. But most of the people that did anything were on social media bad mouthing everybody when they could have been going out there and trying to help. That's my only thing. You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. And most of those people on Facebook, some of them had legitimate questions, comments. I'm not beating up everybody. Some of them just put stuff out there. They didn't have a clue what they were talking about. They're just trying to stir people up. They're trying to make it worse. That's being a part of the problem. So while I feel bad about what happened, hope it never happens again.
Well,
People,
I'm sure it will in the future some point.
we talk about the boiling water. That comes from 50 years ago, boiling water. There was no bottled water. You had to boil your water to drink it. we had bottled water we were giving away. Most people, if you get on Facebook, they all drink bottled water anyway, because our water is so polluted, they won't drink it. Well, make up your mind, now that you can't drink our water, all of a sudden you need it and you have to boil it. So, there's,
So we've got that phone number that people in town should be signing up for.
they should, absolutely, they should.
I mean, I don't know what else you can do if you go on the news, social media, it's in the paper, and you have it on the website.
Yeah.
I think people have to take accountability.
There's only so much,
Expectation that the
yeah.
information comes from the ether and someone knocks on your door when you're home and you're ready to listen to them. It's not reasonable.
Yeah.
People need to take
We
responsibility.
don't have an in black and white process to do this in any of our,
Like an SOP, like a standard operating
Yeah.
procedure.
we don't have, the town does not have that. And you guys don't have that. So it's just one of those things, we've never had that. And I know back when you and I were kids, we got our power from Frankfurt.
Right.
And every other day, we didn't have any power.
Yeah.
I mean, if a bird farted down the street, the power went out. We didn't have power. And it came right in on the north side of towns where it came in to feed Thorntown, and they were producing it in Frankfurt.
Yeah. You're probably on Frankfurt. Are you on Frankfurt now? Yeah. Bob and Cindy Keys out there, they're on Frankfurt.
Yeah.
There's still people pretty close to here that are
Yeah,
on Frankfurt.
right, but they used to take care of the whole town, but hell, it went out all the time.
Yeah.
Frankfurt ends at Fall Road, so they come all the way down Sugar Creek to Fall
Yeah.
Road.
Yeah, I know they do.
I figured,
But
I didn't know
they've
exactly how
upgraded
far.
I mean, from back then, they've upgraded their whole plant, but, well, they used to produce power. They had a power plant over there, right by railroad tracks there in Frankfurt.
So you got
Anyway,
any,
I'm just bringing this, I'm not saying
Right.
we're gonna solve this problem today, but
Right.
I'm just bringing up that
It's something-
Well, I
we
think
do
it was-
have a
Yeah, I
problem.
think it was great.
definitely
Some
something we need to
procedures.
look at, but if we ever have a real crisis where the power's out for a couple, 3 weeks, people in Thorntown will die. They just have no idea.
So on the Duke side, I mean, people are going to ask, the Duke power to the transmission side, what was their?
I don't really understand the relationship with Duke myself that well, but
Okay, so Duke runs and owns the main power lines you see that are
Transmission lines.
cruising through the state everywhere. And then they bring it to a substation where they beat it down so they can send it into our lines. It doesn't burn anything up, right? Now, from that point on, they are partners with like IMPA. IMPA does produce X amount of their own power, but they
Right.
go over the same transmission lines. They all get their little, like a co-op. They
right.
all go in on it, and they all pay each other back and forth how they work it out. And it's, by the way, it's almost by the minute. I mean, they got big computer screens, and there's
Oh, yeah.
flow,
What's bigger than that?
right. And so, literally speaking, once it gets past, there's actually a meter out there on 75 for Duke. It's on one of the poles as you approach the elementary school, but on the fire station side. Once it gets to that meter, Duke's out of it. IMPA now takes over. Now that's all IMPA from that point on. So the relationship is they're both power generators and providers, and they're partners through it all, along with anybody else who's through the state in the same ways. But once it kind of gets past that point, Duke's out of it, and then IMPA's on it. So the problems we got at the substation are related to them upgrading the substation to deal with not only Westfall, but the town itself. As we all want more energy, more power, people are going from 100 amp to 200 amp, they want to run it, all these other things. They're all upgrading it, and it's all related to all of our own needs and desires of what we want for convenience. And you guys talk about Frankfurt, well, back in the day, you might have had 1 or 2 bulbs in your ceiling in your house.
Right.
You didn't have lights everywhere. You didn't have these big 75, 100 watt bulbs.
Yeah, we had to screw in
That's right.
those little boxes with the screw in.
Yeah.
The fuses.
Fuses,
That's
yeah.
right. So anyway, things have changed, and that's part of it. And what happened on Saturday when we lost power was we had that big storm come through, And Duke stopped doing all this work down there, and they had some lines that whacked each other in the storm, and it blew out their big 200 amp fuses down there. So by the time you get here, by the time we look around, find out where the problem is, trace it back, go lines, there's a power. We go, okay, now we gotta get Duke in here, because it's their actual problem. So there, you're talking about time, and that amount of time, that phone can ring a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you, I've already answered 30.
And during that time, people on Facebook want to know what's going on, and we don't know
Right.
what's going on.
I think.
And by the
probably
time you find out what's going on, it's fixed.
I mean, I think education is probably the big thing on how the grid works.
Yeah.
You know, it's like where we end, where we begin, the point of demarcation, et cetera.
Yeah, but you're not gonna get people that even give a shit.
Well,
They don't care how. the
I
grid works.
agree, but at least you can
All
tell
they
them.
want to know is, can they flip that switch and the light comes
Right.
on?
I spent one evening after things had kind of calmed down a little bit, and I tried to, some of the questions that were on the internet,
You did a great job.
I tried to answer the ones that made sense. And then I answered the one guy that was full of crap and putting stuff out there about what was going on, didn't know why he was talking. He wanted to fire somebody. He wanted to fire a lazy ass. So I explained to him what happened. And then I said, which lazy ass do you want to fire? And all of a sudden he backtracked and tried to say that isn't even what he was saying. And I went back and read it as exactly what he said. It was like stupid. He tried to change the whole, but anyway, and I don't mind,
Fired up.
yeah, I don't mind doing that some, but then other people make comments on yours and twist it around, and pretty soon it's like they're back to saying stuff that they don't know what they're talking about, and you can't explain it to them because they're too stupid to understand.
Yeah, so I guess the SOP on when emergencies like this pop up, do we address on social media on the Thorntown Utility site? Do we just not? Do we have, those are the questions.
Well, and that's the
that I didn't
thing.
know. It's like, well, what can I do to help?
There's two or three major, there's chatter, there's, I don't know what the other,
There's
Yeah,
our own
Thorntown.
website.
yeah, there's two major ones. I think there might be three altogether.
Chatter and Ledger's two of them.
But I answered all those questions on the one site because that's where most of the comments were. And then I got over on the other side and there's 6 or 8 people asking the same questions. And I'm like, I just spent an hour answering all these. Now I got to,
Right. So my point is,
now I got to answer it over here.
perhaps
So I
we
just
stay
told
away
them to
from
go
it.
to the other site and their questions were answered.
posting it on. I mean, I like the fact that we had it posted on our own website as well, the boil order. I mean, I guess that's what I'm trying to drive at is I didn't know what any procedures were, and I just felt like I could help some way, but I didn't know what to do. So just coming up with some procedures, et cetera.
It's
We
one,
posted it everywhere that we possibly could, and whether or not you paid attention or not, I have copies of it.
I mean, I got to tell you, I saw it. If I didn't know that there was a boil order in Thorntown, with just looking, it's my own name, but I got texts. It was in the newspaper. It was on social media.
Sure.
It was on the website.
it was on there.
Website.
It was on there in a lot of places. The problem is I don't care what procedure we have. Some people won't find it, but they don't have any problem finding the bull crap on there. They can find
Well,
that pretty
here's
easy.
what I don't understand. I mean, I do understand it because the health department, once again, we're doing things that's not necessary. The health department gets into CYA with them. So that's why they put this out. If Earl goes down the street to the next fire hydrant after they fix the problem, you go down there and open that fire hydrant and let water run out of it, you're just about gonna get everything out there that could have gotten in there at the break point. Or
Well,
go down 2 fire hydrants, whatever the hell it takes, go 2 fire hydrants, turn it back on, and then everybody's safe. But the health department goes overboard and shuts everybody down and then says, boil your water.
but
They
here's
didn't
the
need to do
thing.
that.
Yeah, but you're, correct me if I'm wrong, Earl, but the way I understood this, it's not really the breaking point that caused the problem. It's the fact that the system was shut down or
No, it's just a standard rule that even if it doesn't matter if it's a section or not, if you go to 20 PSI or below, regardless of what the problem is, you have to do.
yeah, it's the water pressure.
Right.
And the lack of water pressure could cause that
Siphoning is what it can
to
draw.
be anywhere in the, it's not necessary. It's not necessarily that the
That's-
contamination is coming in where the break is. It's the lack of water pressure during that period can cause bacteria to grow anywhere.
Well, it's just a.
I mean, that's the theory.
Well, not in, what was it down 4 hours, 5 hours?
About 4.
Yeah, in 4 hours, you're not gonna have bacteria grow in there to kill you.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just
But
saying,
I'm saying the health department, all they heard was you cut the damn water line and water pressure's down, so we're gonna issue this thing
Right.
to boil water.
I agree. They're covering their,
They didn't talk to anybody. They just said,
well, because the law is on the books and they, if you have a break, you have to do it.
Generalized standard procedures that they have to follow regardless.
You don't know how bad, I wanted to get on Facebook and tell people, oh, yeah, we need to, never mind.
I know
So,
all
do you
passionate-
have anything else?
No, sir, I just wanted to, yeah, that's it.
You're done?
I'll
Earl, what
touch
you got?
base on a couple of things related to almost what you said, because you're talking about people thinking ahead and being prepared and being aware of how to find out the information that they might be seeking. I'm contemplating coming up with something we might be able to put in some bill notices that involve generators, because inevitably when we lose power, I get, and no offense to anyone who might watch this, but I get at least 2 or more phone calls from people whose relative, their husband, wife, whatever, grandma, mom, dad, is on oxygen, and now they don't. Okay, well, my point is this: I notice about, hey, you might want to think about a generator. You get these small little generators that will run part of your house for sure for next to nothing anymore. So realistically, I had a couple of people ask me if I had one they could borrow. Well, we don't, and I'm not getting one because for many different reasons. But my point is this: I'm going to look at it and put a notice in bill saying, hey, you might want to think about it. That's one. 2, the other thing is, after going through what I went through yesterday on Pearl Street, which was all limbs and lines, and a totally different issue, also related, that we probably, and I'll look into this too, need to contemplate developing a policy where people are held responsible for, I know you're on this, for vegetation they allow to eventually grow into our lines. The lines have been here for a number of years. That tree touched that line wasn't there even 2 to 3 years ago, but now it's grown another few feet. And you never trimmed it back, you never pruned it, but now it's an issue. You want us to come out and cover the expense, the manpower and the time and labor it takes to clear the lines, which we've gone through a lot of. So I'd like to look into potentially some sort of potential surcharge that would charge people for these sorts of things. Maybe go through a time period where we allow people to step forward and say, hey, I've got a concern about this. We take care of that. But after that point on, you need to trim your own trees that are sitting in your yard and are now touching our lines regardless. I'm just saying it's something to look into.
You know, I'm 100% behind
I know
that,
you are.
except that's another deal we need to talk to a lawyer about because that's a right of way.
Well, some are and some aren't.
Okay.
If this tree is in your
If it's in your yard, yes.
completely
You
in
should-
your
but
yard.
if it's-
We'll do it.
What about?
But we're
between
gonna
the-
charge you
the
more.
Sidewalk and the street.
Okay, that's right of way. That's something totally different. And I have some examples I can give you, but we're talking 2 different, related, but still 2 different things.
If
I'll tell
it's
you
in
what.
their yard, then
Yeah,
we
that's
need
a
to
different
charge them
thing.
and we need to charge them more than a tree trimmer would charge.
Well, have you ever seen the power demonstration from either co-op or any power company where they cook a hot dog with a stick where the power line is rubbing a tree? That stick is energized or that tree's
Oh, yeah.
energized.
Yeah. I
And
know.
they cook hot dogs with doing that to show what happens if you get a bare wire against the tree.
Right.
You can get electrocuted and touch the tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't understand that because they think wood.
Right.
What else you got?
Okay, the other one is, we had a gentleman cut his buried service line yesterday, digging a post in his yard. And IMPA had to obviously fix that too. I had INPA in town yesterday. Well, we were till 7 o'clock at night. So we were all day long, all day. That's all we did. I mean, it was one after another after another. So, anyway, that's a chargeable. So I'm gonna talk to INPA about what they think is appropriate to charge
Did
for
he
that.
not call home alone?
He did, well, not holy moly. Holy moly is an emergency thing, but it's related. It's still. But anyway, my point is this, he did, but it's only good for 2 weeks. It was weeks before that. And he had already had a post in this hole, which decided to go deeper. The line went under the post, the previous post. So he put that post on top of the line that was already there. He went deeper, snapped his own line, cut only his service, but we had to dig it up, find it, splice both lines, including the neutral, and we're down there quite a bit. There's a lot of labor on it. But anyway, that's something we have to charge him for. So we'll let him know that. And the other thing is, I was contacted by the surveyor's office about these homes out here. They want to be contacted before any foundation is made, because it did the foundation for the model home. Because they have to come out and make sure that there's no structure that's going to interfere with their drainage out there. If there is, they're either going to make the company tear up the foundation, start again, or they're not claiming any responsibility for any of the drainage out there. So just letting you know, I had no idea they were doing that one out there. Maybe
So
they did, I don't know.
my question is, maybe I missed something in the beginning. They want us to contact them before they put a foundation in?
Okay, so Arbor Homes comes and gets a permit,
Oh, every time they build it.
because this one was submitted when Ben was still over here. And the surveyor's office needs to know that a permit has been granted for them to pour a
Okay,
foundation.
Okay, I'm with you
That
now.
way they can not say, okay, well, your foundation, okay, there you go. That's all they want to know.
Okay. I was like,
So
how
before
do,
we-
I was trying to figure out how we know when they're putting in a
The
foundation.
permit application comes in.
Right, yeah,
they need to
okay,
be contacted, so they come out and make sure it's not in their drainage. Not gonna mess with their drainage.
okay,
That's all I've got.
okay. Anybody last chance, because I'm gonna close this meeting.
Yeah, I got to go anyway. I got to go.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
9:30.
Being no further business, meeting is adjourned.
All right, so.
Now let me get this turned off. If I can figure out how.
The generator work.
Yeah, I got to go. I got to go.
I ran the calculations and it's like, dude, we really